Hey, Married in Business. Welcome to our first podcast, Marriage, Hustle, and Cash Flow. We are going to discuss all things about being married and being in business together. So we'll take a little bit of time to introduce ourselves to you. We'll start with Kamiko and Mike.
Hey everyone, I'm Kamiko McGuire. We're the McGuires. I am a family and psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. And one of the businesses that we have is that we have a psychiatric and mental health or psychiatric and wellness practice where we see patients of all ages, providing them with individualized care to live their best lives.
And I'm Mike McGuire. I'm a retired military. I'm also in charge of McGuire Group Enterprises, where we do our real estate investing, where it's our long-term investing, where we purchase properties, kind of renovate them, get people in them, and run them out for the long term.
And then we also have Visitor Stay, which is our newest LLC, and that relates to more of a short-term Airbnb Verbo type setting, and we have a home for that particular one in Gulfport, Mississippi.
Awesome. Amanda, Glenn.
Hi everyone, how are you?
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? We are excited to be here. We are very grateful to be in partnership and to be here today with these amazing couples, and we are ready. Let's cheers to this day because it's a great day to be alive.
Let me bring it in. All right, good day to be alive.
I have it. Y'all.
Okay, here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. So you've been cheering. She's cheering for you. Hi everyone. So we wanted to make sure that we are sharing what we do. I'm Amanda Goring, luxury travel consultant with Instar Travel. By the way, by trade, I am a doctor of pharmacy. We've been practicing pharmacy for about 18 years, but our love for travel really has surpassed everything. And that started when we wanted to travel the world with our baby when we first had her 10 years ago. And we got discouraged by a travel agent that we couldn't travel the world with our daughter. And so we decided, my lovely husband over here, he decided to put matters into his own hands and connect all the dots and, the potholes and everything, connected it. And so we wondered how many people and how many families are out there that are going through the same thing. How many families are being discouraged to travel the world because they can't do it by themselves, but other travel agents are discouraging them. So the best part of entrepreneurship is to be able to be problem solvers. So we decided to solve that problem, and we have been doing that for the past almost 6 years. And so right now we are at the peak of our business, and we also do luxury retreats around the world for small businesses and healthcare entrepreneurs, because with the same concept, we want to show healthcare entrepreneurs that they can also have the best when they travel the world. And so we are all about appealing experiences and luxury. And so that is what we do as a family.
All right. My name is Glenn, aka Mr. G. Okay, so Mr. G, that's where you'll find my name, Mr. G, on our YouTube channel. All right, so you hear that? That's me, and we have our business, but at the same time we blog. So we blog that on our YouTube channel, so that we can share that experience, so people can see and visualize and see everything we are doing, and which we love. And our two little girls who are 10 and 7 years old, mm-hmm. They are all a part of it. They're all enjoying every bit of it.
They are business partners.
Mm-hmm, yes. Mm-hmm. And so, again, a part of InStyle Travel, I am the CFO. And also with that, we also come along with problems and issues, and in terms of logistics, and so that's the part I will play a role in making sure everything is smoothed out with the experience, and again, people have an opulent experience.
All right, Mr. G did not mention it, but he's also a doctor of pharmacy, so that's something that I wanted to mention, that by trade he's also a doctor of pharmacy. And so if y'all need information, he got it for you.
Yes, that's correct. I practice pharmacy every day. So, but we are here.
Awesome. All right. Well, that leaves us, and we are the Smiths. I'm Anisha, and this is
Anisha Jr.
This is Quando. And we have been together for 27 years, and we have been married for 17 years. We have three children aged 26, 17, and 15. I am a nurse. I'm a labor nurse. I've been nursing for just over 22 years this year. And we started our business, our home business, Reflections by Zaina, which is our e commerce. So we are the e commerce arm of this partnership. We are in business with the McGuires and also the Gorings. And we started this community to help support married couples who are in business together or not together, but they're managing business and family and everything under one roof. We felt like there was more support that was needed in that arena. So, Reflections by Zana is what we do as a family. That is our ecom business. And Q over here.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Quandale. Whereas Anisha is the creative individual, the creative part of every business that we have. Reflections by Zaina.
This one. Married in business.
Yeah, the B2Bs, like pretty much everything. I'm the person that creates the structure. That is what I love doing. I like creating foundations and structures so that every idea that she has, I'm able to put in a framework so that it can be successful. So that is what I do with a lot of Reflections by Zaina behind the scenes. I do a lot of the copywriting, the SEO. Pretty much, if it has words, I'm on
Or
top
numbers.
of it. Yeah, or numbers. Like I do the budgeting, so anything like that. That is my strength framework. So I think every individual, you have to have somebody who compliments you, but you also have to have somebody who challenges you. So in this relationship, she is the person who has all the ideas, and I'm the person who figures out how to make them work.
And that is us. So that is our triad, y'all. That is the three of us couples here, and we felt like a podcast would be a great way for everyone to get to know us and for us to just explore each other and what we do in business together, and how we are gonna support our community. So I want to get started with a few questions. I think everybody could answer and comment on or whatever. I feel like this will be a great icebreaker. How did we, each of us, find ourselves entangled with our spouses in business? And what I mean is, because I mean, if you notice, all the three of us have more than one thing going on. So obviously, we did not just enter into marriage with like in business. We did these things after marriage. So how did we like? What was it? How did we get entangled? Like, I want to know from everybody what this all looked like and how did it come? How did it come to pass? So anybody can jump in.
I'll start. Do you want me to start? This is Kamiko. I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
So interestingly, our first endeavor was what? Rental property, right?
Condos.
So we had moved to Abilene, Texas, which was our final base. And my sister on the phone just mentioned something briefly. She's like, "Hey, yeah, I'm looking at these rental properties." And she kept going. And I said, "Wait a minute, go back. Rental properties? What do you mean?" And so she was like, "Yeah, I'm about to buy this property. I'm going to rent it out, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "Oh, that sounds interesting." So I tell Mike, and what do you all think his first response was? Do you think he was like, "Yay, let's do it," or
No.
Nay.
Right? He's full-time active duty. I'm full-time working in a clinic as a nurse practitioner, and we had a 1-year-old and a 10-year-old at this point. And we really didn't even know the area, honestly. We had been there, about a year?
Yeah.
And so he is one of those people that even if he says no, he'll do his own research. So later he comes to me and he's like, "Hey, look at this." And it was the first property we ever purchased. And so it was 2 condos that were side by side. It was just a very unique situation. It was a mother and son that lived next door to each other, but the mom had become older and sick and actually needed to be in the home with the son. So he was just looking to unload as quickly as possible. So we bought our house in 2012 when we moved there, and so this was 2013, and so we just reached out to the realtor that we used to buy the house, right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. I was thinking.
Mhm.
So we were like, hey, we already have a relationship with you. Can we, we want to check out this property? She's like, oh, absolutely. So not only was she helpful in like getting us in the home, but she also directed us to a bank. So which was helpful. It was a small hometown bank. They didn't hesitate. Yep, it's yours. Go for it. And so that was the first one. Ironically, one was like ready to go, just about moving ready. The other one needed a lot of work. So we're like, okay, here goes nothing, right? So that was our first time like really doing business, and we've been married what, I don't even know how long at that point, 7 or 8 years. So we had the marriage thing down. That wasn't an issue. And the reason, well, I'll let you tell. What do you think the reason was that you told me no initially?
Well, I think initially the answer was no, mostly because I did not want to jump in, without a plan and just jump in head first and just figure it out as we go.
So familiar.
Very huge monetary commitment, that's a lot of money. So we had to sit down, have a couple meetings, and come up with a good plan of how to do it. Now, we didn't necessarily follow the plan, obviously, because there was a whole lot of other stuff going on that we had no idea about. Obviously, we're a lot more educated now on the whole real estate business, but at the time, we had no clue.
Right. And it was a good learning experience. We will say that, it was a great deal. We learned some things like where not to buy, things like that. But it was just one of those things where we were like, after he had the plan, because he is the planner, much like Q. So I'm the one like, let's do it. And he's like, no. But then once he was on board, like, it's over. We're going for it. So that was how we ended up entangled in business together. It wasn't even an intentional like whole business thing, because we were just like, yeah, we'll just rent them out. And then eventually we were like, we don't have time to do that. Let's hire somebody to do it, So even that part of it, we've learned how to manage them ourselves as well.
Awesome. I guess we'll go.
Okay.
I'll tell this story.
No, I want to tell
it. Anisha, let me tell you about Anisha. All right, when we got married, she was like, "Hey, I want to do Mary Kay." I was like, "Oh, okay." So then we had
Mary Kay was before we
No, it was like we did
Mary Kay before.
I'm telling the story. All right. So at first it was Mary Kay, right? So we had like this lifetime supply of Mary Kay. And I'm like, what you gonna do with this? She's like, I don't know, I'll just wear it at some point, right? So that was the first business. The second business, she was like, I think I'll drop ship on eBay. So we had like so many clothes. All she did was buy clothes. I was like, well, who's gonna buy these clothes? She's like, I don't know, maybe I'll just wear them. I'm like, great. Okay, so now we got a closet full of Mary Kay and a closet full of clothes. So then the third business was we decided to write books, because Nisha's like,
he's a great writer.
She was like, you can write so well. And I was like, absolutely not. I am not bearing my soul. I want people to judge me. No. So she was like, you're going to write. So that became the third business. And then we got a garage full of books, right? So I'm noticing a pattern here. The fourth thing was like Reflections by Zaina.
And I did that alone.
Yeah, she was like, I'm gonna like. She bought. She didn't tell me at that time.
Yeah, I started with art.
She just like I just saw these 8-inch giant wood heads like appear at my front door. I'm like, what's this? And she's like, oh, it's gonna be this hobby I'm doing on Etsy. So I was like, you know what? I've seen how this story ends. So she started painting all of these giant heads, and people were buying. Right, people were buying them. And so a friend was like, well, hey, why don't you just make them smaller and turn them into badges? So then she was like, oh, so
great idea.
Right. So that's what she started doing, because I don't have an artistic bone in my body. When it comes to like physical art, like stick people, that's pretty much my level of expertise. So, she's painting. So like, I'm like, well, let me see if I can help her. And then like the floodgates open.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he saw me after I transitioned into the badges.
Oh, but wait, I'm not finished.
Wait, what?
So then she was like, after Reflections by Zaina book, she's like, I got this other idea.
He's fast forwarding. Okay.
I got these she was like, I have this other idea. I want to be able to do business to business on every level. Like, I want to be able to do small businesses and Black businesses and large businesses. And so those became 3 more businesses. And then she was like, you know what? I think I like dealing with couples. I like people. I think we should have another business. So that's what Married in Business. So right now, like we're juggling like 5 businesses. All right. So I'm like,
It's like 3.
she keeps saying it's 3, but it's not 3. It's 5. It's 5. 1, 2, 5. It's 5 businesses.
How many have you
That
guys
is the
saved?
story.
That's the quick and dirty. He actually entered into Reflections by Zaina because my wooden badges had taken off so fast. Like I was spending my days off painting. And so he saw that I had all this work, and then I would wake up and he'd be like, okay, I got the orders printed out for you. And then it turned in, okay, I got these separated like this. And because I was literally just doing it myself, and I would just go in, the orders would come in, I paint them and ship them out. And then, another couple of weeks would go by. Yeah, we were painting. He was picking up little adornments and accessories.
I had to drive to every Hobby Lobby
yes,
in the greater Houston area. So it was an 8-hour job driving around the city to every Hobby Lobby to make sure that she had the materials that she needed just to paint for
paint like these 20 something orders that had come in. And so it became like this kind of, he just kind of stepped in little parts and pieces for me. And then it came to like he started taking bigger chunks. And he was like, so I was looking at the cost and I think we need to raise prices. So it became, okay, I'm going to go in there. Yeah, we fought on that. And, but he was right. And raised prices because I was doing a lot of work, and we were able to literally fully grow our business off of those wooden badges. We really were able to like get into even bigger products. We switched over. I mean, like we really fueled a whole e-commerce business off of one single product. So anybody to say that you could sell one thing and not make a lot of money is not the truth, because I've done it. We're still on Etsy, and so we've really entered into commerce and customizing and personalizing and representation. We really did pave the way for a lot of other companies or small businesses to like emulate us in the representation game. So yeah, he kind of slid his way. Our entanglement was really like an entanglement. It really was, because we have been like doing all the things together and nothing really lasted, but this has lasted now 5 years, 6 years.
It was 2016, so it'll be 7 years this year.
And so now we're on Amazon, we're on Etsy, we have our own site, we're doing wholesale. Yeah, we're doing wholesale, we're doing B2B, and then we're now going to be helping other businesses in the agency model get their websites and get their products together. So that's one of them. It's not. That's not part
of the 10 job.
It's not. So that's our entanglement. That's us.
I love the word. All right. So how we got entangled to our business. Of course, we have always loved traveling, and I'm not telling anybody to go do this, but we were traveling with our student loans. Okay, when Glenn and I met in Boston College and in pharmacy school, and I was already traveling. He was already traveling, because I mean, traveling saves everybody. I mean, at least it saves us. But we were doing that already before we met, so I didn't have to put a gun to his head and say, "Let's go traveling." Like, you gotta come with me, right? He was already loving it, and so we really we didn't know the level of how it was going to be later on, but we knew that is what we wanted to do. So one day, long story short, one day we gotten married, everything. One day I just came to Glenn. I had already tried other businesses, just like Anisha, eBay.
Let me jump in here. Yeah, she had tried many businesses, and this is how I got entangled, basically. But let me start a little bit before that, when she was 5. Okay.
Did you know me at 5?
No, I didn't know you were at 5. But she told me a story.
Oh yeah.
And she told me a story that she loved the aspect of exchanging money for merchandise. So her heart as an entrepreneur it's been in her since she was 5 years old. So now fast forward. So every time she will come and say, "Hey, I got a business," and the first one was like
Tracy.
Which one?
Tracy.
Tracy. Okay.
We sell luxury bags.
And then she moved on to Poshmark.
Poshmark.
Poshmark. Yes. and then it went
This is very Amanda, by the way.
eBay. Look, there's so many. I have to.
Alibaba.
Alibaba.
Yeah, yeah, I was selling helmets, knee pads, for
And then it's two Amazon, and yes, we did Amazon.
Amazon seller. Yep.
And those helmets and
salad bowls, salad spinners. We were selling those too.
And all of those things are in our attic right now.
Yeah, they're in the attic.
Really?
Salad spinners.
They are still in the house.
I have to box them on Christmas.
And Christmas lights, yes.
It is.
I feel you.
And Christmas lights. Can you believe that Amanda selling Christmas lights?
So we went through it. We went through it all. But that's her spirit. That is her spirit. To win. To win with selling, being an entrepreneur. And so fast forward, she came with me one day saying, not even come to me. She says, I'm a travel agent. I said, you're a travel agent.
I didn't tell him. I just did it on my own. I was scared to tell him because everything has really not been anywhere, right? So I just said I signed on. I'm a travel agent. What I remember is it was a Sunday, so he was kind of like taking a nap, and I said, "Baby, I'm a travel agent," and he goes, "Okay," but he didn't really take it seriously, right? Because he probably was thinking it was one of the other stuff.
One of the many stuff.
Yeah.
So we just after that, it started just. She started getting serious. She said, "Oh, I got a website." I said, "What?" and then she goes, "I got a
now, man.
And then she goes, "I got a logo.
I got this
I got a logo."
Yes.
I found a person I got a logo for us. I said, "Wait, that logo looks pretty hot."
Yeah.
And so it started growing from there. So that's where, and then
you got serious.
We got serious, and then I said, "Okay, well, what does this look like?" And then from there, that's how I was entangled.
I mean, I also believe that because it's a travel business, he will definitely go on the trips, right? Because we've already been traveling together, and you are still in the camera, anyways. So whether you like it or not, you are entangled. And like you don't have to sign you don't have to sign anything, right? You're already a part of it. So
you got trapped.
I trapped on the beach.
Trapped on the beach.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad situation, Glenn. Like really, like to be entangled on vacation. I mean, I can't say there's too many people that would fight you on a
So that's how we did.
So I think she picked a good. Yeah, she picked a pretty good cage for you. I think.
Yeah.
She gonna trap you. I think.
I just wanted to say I appreciate the transparency, like of you all talking about like all the businesses. So like I didn't list all of mine because I didn't want to I'll just say the real estate was the first one that stuck. Let's just put it that way. Right. I wanted to circle back to that just so the listeners understand, like the first thing might not work, and that's okay. But the fact that second thing, my spouses just kept on like, okay, cool. Keep going, and something will stick. My dad is even saying, he's like, y'all just throw stuff up and see what sticks. I'm like, yeah, something eventually will stick.
Yeah.
So, if you just keep going, something will stick. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there. Like we did eBay stuff and some Amazon stuff. And we actually did quite well for a little bit. But, it's one of those things like, how feasible is this in our life? Like, okay, we're running to the post office. We're trying to find all these things, so you have to kind of zone in on what makes sense and what makes money. So I mean, I appreciate that. I was laughing really hard because I was like, this is how this all came about, because we're all kindred spirits. Like,
seriously.
Yeah. I mean, Alibaba is still calling me. Alibaba is still calling me. They're still in my inbox.
You'll circle back to Alibaba with your in-town travel. We'll get back in that. We'll get back in the saddle with them. But I think you guys are right. I think that what I've noticed from all the stories is it's like that same spirit was present in one of the spouses the entire time that either you've been alive, because I know I was writing business plans back at 9. I was talking about what I was going to do for the summer, and I was going to teach people how to dance, and I was typing it out on a typewriter. I was typing out my little flyer, okay, that I was going to pass out. I was like 9, teaching people how to dance. So I knew, when you think back, it's like the road. I know the road was paved. Like you can look back and see all the parts that are leading to where we are. So I think it's great that we found spouses that could handle that.
I think one thing that I wanted to add there is that as everybody, like as those, all the little girls were playing with like dolls and, hair, like every single little thing that I wanted to do was merchandise, like, trading something for money. So I guess that's something that as, to our viewers, if your child shows interest in this business aspect, it's very, very important to make sure that you are growing them the entrepreneur journey, nourishing them. Thank you for the word, babe. Very early, because I wish at the time my parents were like, put it back, put my money back for me, go put my money back, So it's really, really important that we see those things in our little girls. But at this age, yeah, oh boys, yes, absolutely, yeah.
All right, dang, that was great. So on the same vein as entanglement, sometimes our spouses, they insert themselves. Quan kind of just took little stair steps, and Amanda may have brought Glenn in, and Kamiko kind of approached Mike, not necessarily for partnership, but just like, what do you think about this? When we kind of figured out or just got kind of into business, what do you wish, knowing what we know now, several years later, some of us are a decade or more later, what do we wish we had known before working together, like really committing to doing things together? What would you say are some things, whether it be traits, whether it be habit, whatever, when you think about your marriage and you think about, a lot of the things that you go through when you're trying to do both things, what do you think you could have benefited from knowing before? You're like, all right, babe, let's do this. We're going to do this. Come with me. Let's do this. What do you think you would have known? Or wish you would have known?
I believe with us, I mean, we wish we had known how much money goes into how much of your personal. See, when I thought about business,
Yes.
like, money starts coming in right away. And so I'm like, okay, now who is booking trips?
No.
Crickets. Who is booking trips?
You
Crickets.
booking trips.
And so I wish we knew that all the ceiling, everything that I had signed on, we had to pay for all those umbrellas that we were under, but nothing was coming in. So then I had to pick up extra shifts because, our girls are in private school. They are going to school. You buying them stuff, but then you have to also pay everything that you signed up to. Right. And Mr. Glenn had to really, 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 he stepped out because he's like, baby, you can't do this on your own. Like, this is too much. And so he's picking up extra shifts. I'm picking up extra shifts at work. I mean, it's crazy.
I definitely want to echo that is, and just add on with the financial aspect,
Yes.
and then adding on to the aspect with, well, basically what I was going to say, that the trying to realize that how much time is involved. I didn't know, like, I thought, okay, we'll just do it, but you cannot just treat it like maybe a hobby, because you're not going to get nowhere. So I know that, as going forward, it's definitely time. You got to put a lot of time into it. If you want something, you want a change, you want something to grow.
Yeah. So for us, it's time and money, really. I mean, there's a lot more, but okay.
But those are the two things. She said there's a lot more. We'll Google it for a whole nother episode, Amanda.
Yes.
I do want to, and a lot more, like, just the business. You gotta when it's new, you gotta figure out all the things on your own. Like, and then like all the obstacles. It's not like you could reach out to somebody, because that's cost more money. So you got to be the problem solver in that business.
Be everything. Jack of all trades.
And here's the Jack.
Yeah.
Seriously, the Jack. You want to go?
No, you first.
To not echo, I mean, to echo what you guys said, it's almost like obvious now that time, I think for me was fueled by passion. So like, I did not mind the time. I think that for us, we did not quite know as individuals, like fully who we were as entrepreneurs. And what I mean by that is, and even in the last couple of years, I've really stepped into the fact that I'm visionary, I'm a creative, I'm not structured, I don't plan, I'm fully present, I'm experience based type person. So, like, you know as a solopreneur you're only going to get so far with only with those traits, because you're going to be doing everything for everybody, and you're going to be just this tornado that moves very slowly, but is like high energy. And so I think that had we known to like really index like our get, what we are good at, or just bring it, like for me to really look at him not as my husband but as a partner in the process, and be like, okay, instead of fighting him on things or him fighting me on things that we are strong at, we can index those things and then formulate a plan that'll, like our trajectory would speed up, versus all of this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because you just don't understand the ebb and flow. I think understanding the ebb and flow, and meaning a lot of times meaning one person is going to be completely opposite of the other, I think would definitely have helped us, even just in a little bit of planning or just trying to like pull things together. I think that, that intersection in marriage and business, and just being able to like treat this person as a partner and like look at their strengths, like not what irritates you, not what you don't come in here doing that. You know what I mean? Because that thing might be what you're missing in your business, that thing that they're good at. So I would say that would be it for me. One of the things.
I guess for me, no one ever tells you this, but failure is a natural part of progression. They make it seems like is that if you don't, succeed off the top, then you're not worth the time, or that, like, because when we grew up watching TV, every time you saw an entrepreneur or somebody who was trying to build a business, it was always a struggle or hustle, and so that is how entrepreneurship is looked at. That is it's really a hustle, and it's not. It is, you deal with your failures, but you have to work through them. But nobody ever teaches you that. They like, once you fail, that's it. Move to another business because this is not for you. I think the second part of that is that there's nothing wrong with the failure aspect. You just have to be able to get up and find a community of people who not only support you but pour information into you. Because as entrepreneurs, when we fail in silence. We don't want to tell nobody. We don't want anybody to hear that we didn't succeed, because our entire lives were built on, you're gonna be the smart one, or you're gonna be the successful one. So you automatically don't want to say anything when things don't work out. So finding that community of people who have struggled like you and can pour information to you, and you can relay your struggles to them and they understand, is an integral part of being a business owner and being an entrepreneur. So I wish I had known that from the beginning, because these are things that you're not supposed to talk about, but you have to talk about.
And get a help.
That was yeah.
Everybody's brought up some really great, issues that they saw, kind of wish they would have known before they started doing this together as a couple. The only thing I would really add is that I kind of wish going into it that I knew kind of all the different weaknesses that Kamiko had when it came to the business aspect of it, because that's what you have to do as a couple. You have to fill in that weakness for your spouse. And as we continued to work together, we started to learn, okay, well, she's going to be better at this, I'm going to be better at that. There's really no reason to argue about it. It's no reason to discuss it. You do that, I do this, and we'll move forward.
In theory.
The best
In
faith
theory.
for that. And I think once we learned that, that made things so much smoother for the business and for ourselves, because it turned a hour and a half long meeting into about a 5 to 10 minute long meeting of, okay, you got that?
Mm.
Okay, I got this. Meeting's adjourned. We're good. Because we knew
Yeah.
that the other person was going to go in with the best face for the business.
That's
I agree
cool.
with that.
Mhm.
And
I like
to echo Mike, I had to learn what his strengths were because I am one of those people where I'm like, I'll do it myself. I can do it myself. Even if I don't know how to do it, I'm going to do it myself. Right. And that might be the older,
I mean, really, like,
right?
is
That might be, my upbringing. I have
that
no
the nurse
idea.
in us, Kamiko?
Huh?
Is that the nurse in us? I feel like a lot of
There you
nurses do
go. You
that.
got it. So, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'll do it myself. So I had to learn to lean on him because, I mean, the man has a doctorate in business and I'm not listening to him tell me how to run my business. Like, come on, man. But, and some of the things that I've heard through mentorship and classes, he's already told me. So I'm sitting there like, like I probably should have
Right.
implemented that a few months ago when he told me to. But, it goes back to like, trying like the Smith said, I need to look at him as my partner, not my husband. So it's very hard sometimes, like, because same thing in business, same thing in marriage, we're not perfect in our marriage either. So it's like,
Mhm.
nah, because he did X, Y, and Z, I know he's gonna mess this up, but it's like,
Mhm.
no, what are his strengths? How can I play to that? So there's, even with the clinic now, I just moved to a bigger location about 6 months ago, and it's no longer like, can you? It's, hey, will you? Because I already know that you can find, but I mean, I'll walk in and there's a TV on the wall. Oops, like I forgot I even mentioned I wanted one, and he's already made it
Mhm.
happen. So it's like you have to make your wants and needs known to your partner, and once you realize that
Mm.
they are in your corner for sure, it's not that I never thought that he wasn't, but I had to realize he was just as invested in my success as I was. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say is like recognize the person for who they are, use their strengths, and don't bring the marriage into the business, and vice versa.
That
Oh,
that
that was a good
that is so
segment.
good. I know that is so good because I should all of you are talking like I'm thinking same thing has happened to us where I'm like, if you don't do it, I'm going to hire somebody. No, I never said I'm going to do it. I said I'm going to hire somebody.
And then I say, wait. Let me figure that out. Because you hire someone, you keep on hiring.
I'll keep on hiring the whole world. I'll keep on hiring every single
Oh man,
minute.
look
I'm
like this
hiring
morning.
people. Every single day I'm hiring people. He goes, I could do this, baby. I already did this. Remember I did that?
See, that's how I became entangled.
What? so so I think that in a way, if I let go and realize that no, he got more credit than I give him, right? He's able to do anything, the fixtures, the lights, everything, but I'm thinking of him as, all right, he's a nerd. He has he I don't think he's able to do it because he has all this degrees,
All the science in me.
all the science in him. So I'm not gonna ask him to put on no light bulb and he falls off the ladder. What am I gonna do? Like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna hire somebody. Then I see him saying, "No, I got this," and he figures it out, and he always does figure it out.
And then yeah, in relation to the business, not other than a light bulb. I do funnels.
Yes,
I do
yes.
landing pages.
Finishing pitch.
I figured all that out.
Yes,
She
he
wanted to
does.
hire people.
He's like, we gotta save money. You don't know,
Like,
we
hold
gotta
on.
save money. We gotta save money. All these are things that I can do so that we can, generate money. So I guess that comes to, the spending aspect has been cut down on in that aspect because he is handling that all that.
And
So
it does come important at the beginning of a business where you're trying to grow a business.
right,
You
right.
can't
Yeah, like you can't
Yeah.
hire out right away. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You guys, wow. All right, so I guess I would say we could brag. We could brag on each other a little bit. Um, if we had to, y'all all
What
right?
happened there? What happened?
Sorry,
If we,
the Bluetooth
if we
battery started dying.
yeah, okay, okay. If we had, okay, so think of the Incredibles,
Yes.
like the family, the husband, wife. If you guys, if everybody could just like say maybe as a couple what your superpower is together. if your front, you're out here fighting enemies together in business, what front, what united front? Because I'm thinking about this too. In business, what is your couple superpower? Like, what are we doing together very well? What can we accomplish together very well? Should we get some Jeopardy music? I don't know. Get some.
Man, I already know the answer to this.
Oh,
Jeopardy music.
what goes first?
Quan, you already spoke up.
Mine is strategy. If we were superpowers, Nisha would have like every superpower imaginable, but she'd be that person that throw ice at an ice monster. And I'm like, no, the book says that this is what we're supposed to do. She's like, I don't care what the book say, he's gonna fall down eventually. And that is me. She's gonna keep throwing stuff until something works. And I'm like, no. So like my superpower.
It's our superpower.
My superpower is strategy. Her superpower is ideas.
I'm a problem solver.
Right.
I'm a creative.
She's a problem creator.
I'm a problem
and
solver.
I am the problem solver. Her superpower is create more problems. So my superpower is create more solutions.
This did not go at all the way it was supposed to go. Let me just say that.
What did you give him to drink? What did he drink?
Like, Mr. and Mrs. Incredible. This is not what this is supposed to be.
What did he drink when we went on the lunch break?
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm a circle back before we have this all.
Okay.
I think our superpower together. It brings in both of our strengths, and I think it is creative problem solving. I do think that the two of us together can solve. We have enough idea and enough planning together to solve problems. Whether that be in someone's business, giving them strategy forward, him giving them more hard-nosed numbers or more statistical things to consider. Data. I think together, our superpower is problem solving for other business entrepreneurs. So that's what I would say ours is. I'm gonna ask the rest to be stricken from the record. How we got here.
Problem creator.
I'm like a man ago, like, hey, problem creator.
Problem creator.
Yeah. I think that's us. I think we can get you through some roadblocks together, the two of us, for sure.
I think ours is also will be problem solvers, but I think ours is more so of our superpowers is more so of creating what is not there, creating what is not. So we are always thinking, oh, we can do that. Oh, we can, the things that growing up, they never told you could do. Those are the things that we are going for. Oh, we can own a private jet. Like growing up, I could own a toy airplane, but I couldn't, nobody told me that. And so I think that together we are really creators. We are creators. That's what it is. We are creating what is not
exactly
what is kind of like impossible, I think.
And then
so you're like right. So you're able to manifest in a sense.
Manifest and create. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I got you.
That's about right. And then we as a couple we come in and as my aspect I'll put it together. She'll bring it and we'll pull it in.
Right. Because I think and I also think that some things that we look around to see what is not available. Because I would say this year we have created a lot of things this year in our business that we never thought that we were going to create. And because we heard people saying, oh, we wish we could have had this on this situation. We wish we could have had that. We wish. And we are like, okay, let's take it. Let's create it. And so unapologetically, we are stubborn in creating what is not out there. And so that's, I think,
I love it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So we were sitting here like, what's ours?
Yeah,
right? So what I came up with, our superpower would probably be like teamwork. because we've been in some situations in some of these houses where we're just like, oh, you like this is more than we bargained for, kind of thing, right? And so it's like, okay, we just got to get it done. It's not pleasant, it's not pretty, we don't even want to do it, but we have to do it. So we'll show up. Sometimes the kids are involved. I mean, I have pictures of like my now 10-year-old, who's probably about 7 or 8, carrying garbage bags out. It's like teamwork. So I think one thing that even like our children could say is like, mom and dad do it together. It's not just falling into one person's lap to do now certain things, just because of schedules and things like that. But we're always like trying to show up as a united front for whatever it is, whether it's meeting somebody to pay a house or evicting somebody, whatever it is, we're a united front. So I think that would be our superpowers, that we just work well together, and that we're not backing down, and there are no real gender roles either. That's another thing. Like our first house that we bought and sold as our primary home, like I'm in there just painting away. Well, my schedule allowed it. I worked 3 days a week. He worked 5. So it was just like, it doesn't really matter who it is. It just needs to be done.
Yeah, and I'll just go one step beyond that, and I will say that, yeah, we're great at teamwork, but I think before that, we're great at analysis. So we're great at analyzing what's going on and figure out what needs to be done, and then we put the teamwork together to make sure it gets accomplished. So I think that analysis is also a big, big piece of it, because like she was saying, we've seen some issues and some problems within some of these houses. And, we can sit there, we can pout and cry, but we need to sit down, look at each other, analyze the problem, and figure out what needs to happen. And as a team, we get it done.
Perfect.
That's
Sounds
great. That sounds great.
Dang, that was nice. And I already see like further episodes where we kind of dig into some of this, because I do think with couples, if you cannot get a hold on certain things when they arise, if you are not teamwork, if you are not problem solving, it could be the end of the road. It could be some just ugly, we've definitely heard the story. So I think really assessing the superpowers that you have with your spouse, even if only one of you is in business and the other one is in the supporting role or working, we gotta be better, like at assessing the good stuff and not just always complaining about what the problems are. Because obviously when problems arrive, you got to put that stuff to the side and get things done. So I want to say,
but like before you say,
go
I
ahead.
think the overwhelming theme is the support angle. No matter whether you're inside the business or you're outside the business, you see your partner working, you're working with them. There's an aspect of support, not contention. And so, because when you get into that space of contention, it's like it becomes petty. You don't necessarily want to see them fail, but you want to see them struggle. And so, I think everybody here understands how important it is to simply support, whether you agree with everything they do or you don't agree. You like, I think we should do something separately. You still support them, and I think that is an integral and an extremely important part of a relationship, because that support maintains both relationships. It maintains the personal and the professional. So I think at the end of the day, whether you agree with what they're doing or how they're doing it, if you're not going to provide that support, that destroys both relationships.
It definitely can.
Or it makes it increasingly hard to maintain both.
Yeah, it's a strain. It's a strain that strains one, which ends up straining everything else. Everybody else. So that's a good point, Q.
I know, genius.
We want to wrap our first episode with talking a little bit about like really a little bit more about the why we started Married in Business, what we felt was important enough to teach on and to focus on. And so as we continue to grow the community, you're going to hear things like fortifying marriage, creating balance, and building legacy. Those are all things that I think a lot of folks who are married get in business together because they have one or two or three of these things on their mind that they want to really build out for their families and themselves. So I want to just have each one of us kind of touch on one of them just kind of our why and why this is important to consider when you're in marriage, when you're married and in business with your spouse. So we got create balance. I don't know if somebody wants to take that one.
We'll take
All right,
legacy.
the McGuires. Which one you taking?
We'll take legacy.
Okay, so you guys will build legacy and then create balance, Kamiko and Mike, and we'll talk about fortifying marriage.
Okay.
Sounds good. I'll start with creating balance. We were talking about the pillars. I thought this one was really important, primarily just because of what we really just finished talking about. Like, if the marriage isn't good, the business won't be good, because it's really hard to separate the two. So, creating balance means, okay, at this time, this is when we're going to stop talking business, we're going to start talking family. Or, this is the time to carve out for this, whatever balance looks like for us. And that's going to be different for everybody. Some people might enjoy talking about the business over dinner, whereas other people might be like, when I'm eating my food, I just want to talk about family. I don't want to even think about the business. I've been in the business all day. So whatever balance looks like for you, whether that's taking vacations with Amanda and Gwen, whether that's, I don't know, treating yourself to your favorite meal, whatever it is, like, create that balance for yourself, because it is very easy as an entrepreneur to feel just a chronic, I chronically say I'm chronically overwhelmed to the point where I'm just like, I don't want to even think about it. Like, I don't even want to open my email because it's just so much. So the balance needs to be in place, whether that means your spouse has to take some of the load off of you or whatever that looks like for you. Creating balance it's very individualized, but just seeking balance. It's gonna be one that's not always the same. We might be 50-50 one day, 90-10 the next, 100-0 the other. Like if someone's down sick or whatever, like they have to know your business in and out, so that way you're not on your deathbed trying to run a business as well.
Whew, a word.
Mm-hmm.
A word, because I think balance is disrespected. I think people are fighting, fighting for position, fighting for expertise, fighting, to be a certain way or be looked at a certain way. And then you're right. You forsake balancing that stuff out. So everybody's happy. So
maintain a certain authority.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I guess we'll go to fortify marriage. So I guess when we mean fortify marriage, it kind of intertwines with creating balance, but it really does shift the focus to building a sustainable marriage in spite of. So fortifying marriage, you have your business, but you might sell the business one day. Is the business going to run you raggedy to the point where you, like, once the business is gone, you have nothing else in common with your spouse? Like you guys have not built, or on anything. You haven't developed anything or any other passions together to where the business was it. And so when it's gone, then what's left? Like, we want to continue to enjoy each other, in the same way that we did when we got married, before all of the things showed up, before the business came, before the children came. I think that marriage and that union should definitely be worked on in and outside of the business. You need to stay focused on the why and understand that the business is a part of legacy. It's a part of, your history and what you're building. But what happens when everything is gone? Like, what are you guys really working on for you? How are you guys treating yourselves? How are you rewarding yourselves, uplifting yourselves, and really moving as a unit? And I think that fortification and, education and support is a big why, why we started this community, was to just make sure we don't lose focus of that. So,
And so I think with us, we took legacy because that's so much that has been on our mind. I mean, we keep going back and revisiting the reason why we had our business. And initially it was more so of, hey, let's make money, let's retire early and all of that. But as we grow, it has become more impact. So when we think of legacy, we are thinking of impacts. Like, who are we impacting? Like, what are we? Because if you leave this world and you have not done nothing, and all you did was pack money in your savings and did not impact any life, I don't think that is really legacy. That's making money and millions of dollars for you. But as time goes on, I think your focus changes from just making money for you and your family. Another reason we decided to include our little girls into that, because as a little girl growing up, and I'm sure Glenn will also agree with me, nobody gave you the insight of, hey, you are creating something. Are you going to be a creator as a little girl, or what else are you doing? So we want other people to see that these little girls that are growing up, these, especially these brown little girls that are growing up, there is something for everybody. And so if anything, we want the world to see that if mommy and daddy are doing it, it doesn't mean that leave the kids home or leave the kids with grandma, grandpa, or, whatever it is. You can impact the world through your business. You can impact the world through what you are doing right now. You don't need to be on a big platform to create income. To create a legacy, or you don't need to be on a bigger scale to create impact. Whatever you do, and you can channel that into creating that. And so that's very important to us, for us to be able to show that. And also Married in Business, for us to show that, you know what, we are coming together as married couples, but we can also include our families into this business that we build. And why go hire somebody else when your 19-year-old is working in McDonald's or being a cashier in Dwayne Reed, right? You can hire them and you can include them in your business. So let's start today. What more important for us to show than to show our own children doing it, so that other people see that and they are able to say, hey, if they can do it, we can do it too. So that's our main
I love
focus
it.
right now, and that is the legacy we want to live.
I mean,
I love it.
perfect,
I love it.
perfect.
It's a
Couldn't
lot.
say it any. I couldn't say it any better.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I'll leave it like
I
that.
agree. I agree. I think it's all important. It's all three things are important.
Yeah.
Um, so with that being said, what we are doing, what we've done so far, besides our Facebook group. So Married in Business exists as a Facebook community. It's called Better Together Married in Business. We have a Facebook page, Married in Business. We also have a website, pretty simple, married, letter N, business.com. And our goal is to bring you content, to bring you training about the things that we do in our different industries, and to provide support and to help intertwine the two, through membership and just through fellowship and meeting and just really getting to know other couples that are going through the same things that we are. We're all trying to climb and build. We're all trying to be creators. So if you are new to this podcast, as we are, and you are watching this and you have not joined us Facebook community, please do so. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel. And we are on our website email list, marriedinbusiness.com. You can definitely sign up to find out what we have coming up. So I want to thank you all who tuned in, whether you tuned in with us live or later. Please, please, please come see us in our Facebook community and get on our email list so that you can find out what we're doing. And I think if anybody else has anything to say, please say it. Otherwise, we will wrap up our first episode. I'm so pumped. We did good, y'all.
We just gonna cheers.
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 We
Cheers.
Just want to say,
Empty. I'm sorry.
Make sure your glass is empty.
everybody was
I love fish.
Awesome. All right. Well, that concludes it for us. I'm gonna go ahead and see you guys when we see you.